Hello everybody, so I'm back again with a bit of discussion with you or conversation with you. Now that just about 2 weeks left for your actual paper in geography, and your examinations are starting from 20th. So starting from today, just about a week left to get ready for your actual examination. So I thought I can talk to you for some time. You have been studying for quite a while now, starting from July since the results were out, and some of you probably have been doing this right from the month of June. So it does get a bit discouraging sometimes when you feel that you have not completed everything, the revision is not yet over. So I thought I'll talk to you so that I can at least put some concerns of yours to rest, and maybe in the conversation I am able to give you some spark, some hope that keeps you on till the very end. So guys, things are now heating up, or probably they already are hot enough. Starting tomorrow, which is the 12th of September, I think you can start phasing off your preparation. Your first paper is essays paper, and essays paper you should start preparing from 17th exclusively for essay. So 17th, 18th, I would suggest keep for essay exclusive. 19th, not much thing happen because it's actually a maddening day before you're going for the examination. And then you have other papers, following which, starting from 22nd up to your examination, you have another 5-6 days to manage and get ready for the actual geography optional paper. So my suggestion to you is, this is how you can plan up. 12th of September, devote all the time to revise geography optional, and others who do not have geography, whatever optional you have. This is the last day before you actually start off preparation for geography once you have the last 4 days in hand. So give your time to geography, and I have given you 3 booklets now. Try memorizing at least 15 to 20 questions from the topics like geomorphology and geographical thought. So maybe 10 questions of geomorphology and 10 questions from geographical thought. Pick up slope discussions, models of landform development. From geographical thought, maybe the humanistic aspects, postmodernism topics, because those are tricky ones. If you can do some bit of work right now, it will go handy for you. Then starting from 13th, so I'm counting 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. Now these 4 days, I would like you to prepare both optional and your GS. But those topics which will help you in GS paper and help you in the essays paper. So actually you are preparing for the essays, but the topics that you have chosen to revise are topics related to essays. Like for those who have geography optional, I will recommend revise all the answers of environment geography, revise all the answers of agriculture topic, regional development and planning, revise topics of urban issues, not settlements in general, urban issues, urban problems, urban crowding, urban planning, revise topics of demography from the Indian perspective, age structure, demographic dividend, aging population, issues related to declining TFR, which is a lot in news now that we have a report, our fertility rate has declined. And of course, all of this linked to regional development and planning. So I repeat, environment, agriculture, urban issues, population demography, and regional development and planning. Now these are those topics you can use in your GS paper, and you can use liberally even in the essays paper. So if you are practicing answers on these topics or writing answers on these topics, you have got a lot of fodder and raw material to start off writing a good objective specific essay. So starting 13th, do this for geography, and 13th itself, do topics of GS which will help you in the essays, such as revise governance topic, revise ethics paper. Lot of content, lot of principles, case studies of ethics you can again use in the essays paper. Revise economy, whatever you can, because economy is a very rich area which you can again use in essays paper. You can revise a bit of social issues, revise a bit of environmental issues. So 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, these 4 days, I would suggest spend 6 hours or 5 hours revising part optional geography from the topics I have listed and part topics of the GS that I have listed. So you are preparing actually for the essays. 17th and 18th, you have to revise and probably mentally start jotting down how you want to structure the essays. See, any essays, you have essentially 5 things to look into. Number 1, understand the topic. Number 2, have a sense of structure, how you want to organize the essay. Number 3, what are the themes that you will develop your essays on. Number 4, you'll have to give examples. You'll have to give some case studies or probably related to some current affairs. And number 5, of course, is your language aspects. So these are the 5 things you need to focus on essays. Language you cannot do much about right now, so let it go. What you can do is pick up some random topics, and I'll suggest please look up the Telegram channel for essays. We have shared and discussed quite a range of topics in essays of previous year's questions. So even if you revise 10-15 of them, so 6-7 topics probably on the 16th and 17th, and 7 topics on 18th. So good 10, 12, 15 topics if you are able to revise. Look up the media of a Telegram for the essays channel, and you'll have a good amount of content to develop. Now, I'll suggest you may pause the video, take a pen and paper and write down what kind of content will you develop your essays on. Generally what happens is, in the examination pressure, we end up giving examples, suggesting some names, or writing about personalities. We talk about events which are very regular events that do not really excite a reader. So, for example, if I ask you, talk about some person or personality who you think is a good example or role model to follow. Most of you probably will get stuck with Mahatma Gandhi. Probably most of you will get stuck with Nelson Mandela. But in the contemporary times, we have people like Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand. You have this young girl called as Greta Thunberg. You can use the name of Ben Stokes, the man who won the World Cup for England. Talk about Kane Williamson, a man of absolute composure, a man who was very, very focused, and he almost won, but for probably a bit of luck. So these are the names, or our own hero of recent times, K. Sivan, who was the head and managing all operations of Chandrayaan 2. Talk about him. So these kind of examples probably give more richness to your essays than regular examples. Malala Yousafzai as an example, or Datti Chand as an example, or P.V. Sindhu as an example. Similarly, when you're talking about problems, so you probably can name people like Boris Johnson, you can name some events of climate change. But then specifically speaking, I will suggest talk about how the Arctic region or the Antarctic region is melting with some data. So use these content from environment topics that we are talking about. And if you have read the geography answers, we have examples of marine heat waves. We have examples of Pacific garbage patch. We have problems of plastic pollution. So try using examples and references to a lot of contemporary events around you. So if you're talking about water management, you probably give example of Jal Shakti Abhiyan rather than talk about any old program to conserve water. When talking about disaster management, you probably can talk about a bit more detail of Western Ghats conservation on the lines that we have discussed to some extent. So keep these kind of themes in mind. So when you talk about science and technology again, Okay, you can talk about examples of our experience in the ISRO, our Mangalyaan, and talk about Chandrayaan, of course, science and technology about Tesla and the new lithium batteries coming in. So keep your revision of GS relevant to your essays preparation. Keep revision of your geography relevant to your essays preparation. And if you have practiced these 6-7 areas, they also will help you when actually you go for the paper of geography optional or you go for the paper of GS. So that's the strategy for 12th, for 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. 12th, I repeat, give the entire day only to your optional, nothing else. As many answers you may by heart, as many answers you can recall and revise and probably write down verbatim, it will help you. On the 19th, which is the day before the essays examination, try calming down. Sit down quietly. Okay, whatever content you have, just revise through them. An absolute and a strict instructions to all of you: do not read any newspaper, do not read any magazine before the essays paper, neither on 18th nor on 19th morning. Reason being, if you read an article or a newspaper or some magazine, and if you happen to like some of the concepts, your essays unconsciously will have too much of the essay, the article or the newspaper that you have read. So it's what's called as the recency effect. So your mind starts getting blocked and you will not think about the bigger picture. Somehow your thinking converges towards that one article that influences your entire essay. So I'll suggest the 19th should be a day when you sit down quietly and only try to frame how you can structure an essay, how you can probably develop an essay, recall names of personalities that you want to use, recall names of events that you want to use, recall data that you want to use, recall the names of reports and books you want to use. And that too without reading any article, without reading any magazine. So make your own jottings. If you have got some summaries of agriculture, if you have some summaries about environment, okay, so try revising all of that. But please do not read any newspaper, any article, any magazine before the essays paper on 20th. So that's your strategy till 20th. Thereafter you have your GS. Nothing much I can talk about because that's not my domain. So I wouldn't like to encroach on an area which is not my expertise. You know best how you should manage. And some generic suggestions I'll give towards the end of this video. Now, starting 22nd, your preparation for the optional should start. So 22nd, give your paper, your GS paper, but please come back and start immediately. So 22nd, 23rd, 24th and 25th. These days, I repeat, 22nd, 23rd, 24th and 25th. 4 days devote absolutely only to your optional. In our case, it is geography. And 4 days, try to memorize as many answers you can. And the main sections that you need to focus on there are 9 to 10 sections. Geography, focus on geography answers. Geomorphology answers. Focus on climatology answers. Environment, you have to look up and revise everything. The 3 booklets I have given you have lot of answers on environment. Revise environment. Revise geographical thought. I'll suggest start with geographical thought because the sooner you finish, the more confidence you have. And all the answers that we have in your booklets, memorize those answers of geographical thought. Revise models and theories. Revise Indian agriculture and all the issues around Indian agriculture. Regional development planning, settlement geography and population geography. So if you have done this much of revision in that 4 days, I think that's fairly manageable. Say about 10-15 answers per each topic. So about 100 answers, quick revision in 4 days, very much possible. Thereafter, from 25th evening, spend some time with your regional language paper also. We have a lot of examples where people end up flunking in that paper. So 25th evening, 26th, okay, 27th, because you really cannot do much on 28th. Again, it's a maddening time. So if you give about 2 days, but do not leave geography. Don't leave it optional. So you're studying for approximately 15 hours or 14 hours. Make sure you give 1/3 of the time on the days like 25th, 26th and 27th for your optional. And the remaining 2/3 give for the paper that you have on the 29th and on 28th. And finally, okay, when that gets over, you just have to revise everything together and give your final paper, which is your optional, whatever you have. So this is an approximate plan or strategy how you can go about your preparation starting from 12th of September. Now, some generic suggestions to all of you. Please set your body clock right. You know what kind of problems you face when your body clock is nocturnal, body clock is attuned to studying in the night. The daytime you can become groggy, you lose focus. Starting today, okay, please start waking up early, probably as early as 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Even if you feel sleepy, get up, try taking a bath and sit down with the books and sit through the day. Okay, at least starting from 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, right up to 2 o'clock, be with your books so that your body gets tuned to sitting on the table and getting ready for the examination. Afternoons, you probably can ease off a bit more. No matter what, shut your books by 11 o'clock and try to rest. There are times when you won't feel like sleeping. In fact, these are the days. Even then, I'll suggest keep lying on your bed, keep your eyes closed, try to relax, try to recall whatever you have read. So I'll share a video with all of you. I did that during a prelim preparation also. How you can learn to sleep. Okay, relax your muscles, ease off all the creases, okay, ease off your neck muscles, your arm muscles, your torso muscles, your leg and calf. So it's like energy starts draining down right from your head towards your toes. So I'll share that video, a video which has been accepted as a very scientific method of going to sleep instantly. You know, in the US Marines, okay, in the US Navy SEALs, they're trained to sleep, okay, whenever they have time, so that if the emergency be, they can be alert. So they have developed a technique of how to fall asleep, okay, following some method. I shared that during your prelim preparation. I'll share that again with you and try relaxing. One of those urges is, if we can't sleep, we tend to wake up immediately and we want to not waste time and start studying. Do not do that. So starting from 11 o'clock in the evening, in the late night, right up to morning 5 or 6 o'clock, even if you don't fall asleep, try being on your bed, horizontal, eyes closed, try relaxing, relax your muscles, try mentally revising if you want to revise, and then get up at 6 o'clock, irrespective of how sleepy you feel, up on your bed, on the table, and start off your studies. So that's one suggestion. Second suggestion, apart from your study, of course, the remaining time is only for, okay, apart from your sleeping time, resting time, the remaining time is only for studies. Okay, do not distract yourself. Sometimes, you know, what happens is, at this crucial time, our body and our mind starts telling us stories about how to give up, and that is too late. I have realized these last minutes preparation are very, very valuable. Even if you get 2 or 3 questions from what we are studying or what you're revising from last 2 or 3 days, okay, or last 1 week, it gives you immense edge in scoring over the others. Apart from the time that you spend resting and sleeping, the remaining hours should be devoted only to studies. So don't give up, and I'll suggest these last minutes revisions are very, very important. Many a times we mentally give up, many a times we probably end up assuming we do not know much and that this last minute doesn't help us. But my experience tells me that these last minute preparation, even if you get 2 or 3 questions okay, and which you can use in your answers during examination hall, that gives you immense lead over the others. So please do not give up at this stage, is my second suggestion. The third suggestion, of course, is related to how you plan your answer in the examination hall. Under no circumstances cross word limit. And I'll say the word limit is not in terms of what the question demands. The question might say 200 words, 500 words, 300 words. Let the word limit be decided by the marks that you are attempting. As a rule, every 10 marks is worth 100 words. So if it's a 10-mark question and the instructions are write in 200 words, please do not do it. 100-mark question, 10-mark question is 100 words or maybe 130, 140 words, but not 200 plus words. So under no circumstances cross your word limit. It is criminal to leave a question if you know the answer to it. And in the GS paper, unless it's a very technical, I'll suggest try to answer with whatever content you have. In the GS paper, a very good thing is you do not have to write too much of language and paragraph. The GS paper can be answered in terms of bullets. Okay, the main ideas and the 4, 5, 6 bullets, 4, 5 sentences, that's good enough. So please finish the paper, keep to the word limit, and make sure that even those questions you do not have much idea about, take a chance. For the optional paper in geography, now you know my instructions more or less. Go by the number of pages, memorize the answers, use diagrams, use maps, use case studies, applied based conclusions, use geographical concepts. So those instructions stay. Now in geography, there are two types of questions, the answers to which you may not know. One is questions which are very technical. Say if they ask you very specifically, write an answer, okay, on some theory you have not heard about, or some name of somebody you have no clue about. No point guessing those kind of answers. But in paper 2 and applied areas, even if you do not know, I'll say take a leap. Take a leap of faith. For example, we had a question on write about the Clive-Wilkinson report related to coral bleaching. So even if you did not know what Clive-Wilkinson report was, but because it says coral bleaching, go for it. So you do not know exactly what the details of a program are. But you know it's about water management, you know about its agriculture, it's about urban development, go for it. So unless it is a very, very technical question about which is that you have no clue, then I'll say don't waste your words. You might as well use all that time and word for an answer that you probably can develop better in some other section. But an applied question, a question related to current affairs, agriculture, poverty, population, demography, urban issues, regional development, go for the answer, even if you do not know the exact specifics. So this is more or less how you can plan for the exam hall, exam day. And finally, trust yourself, please. This is examination that does not allow any of us to be in zone of comfort. You will not find anybody who can confidently declare and emphatically state that he is ready for the examination. Huge syllabus, understandable. There's a lot to cover, understandable. There's less time, too much to process, too much to remember. So it's impossible that you actually have a sense of comfort, you have a sense of ease that you are ready for the examination. In fact, the more you study, the more you prepare, the more anxiety you will have about the examination. But let all of this not deter you. You have come this far, you have cleared the prelims, you have worked hard, 2-3 months you have been solving answers. Find some topics you couldn't cover. But these next 10 days, see whatever best you can put in. The race is not over till it is over. This last lap, okay, hold yourself strong, give yourself the confidence, read up some nice poetries. I'll try sharing some on the channels. Read up some nice examples of great men, maybe 15 minutes if you want to. Listen to some TED Talks which can help you. So in the day, spend 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or probably 10, 15 minutes every 3-4 hours. Relax, listen to positive thoughts, don't distract yourself, and I'm sure this 10, 15 days will take you a long distance towards your final dreams. So you have all my wishes, all my blessings. I hope you do well. I'm still around. You have any queries, you have any questions to clarify, please do get in touch. Okay, you can always walk into the Vajiram Center. I'll be there. I can meet you, or give me a call if you want to talk to me. Leave an SMS. But let nothing tell you that you cannot do well in the examination. During the papers, don't go back and check your answers of the previous day or of the morning. Then the paper gets over, you can leave the paper aside and get ready for the next paper. Even if you spoil one paper, don't give up, because there are other papers on which you can always improve. I'm yet to see somebody who is qualified and says he has done well in all the papers. In fact, some of them, they have performed disastrously in some paper, but they always make up in some other paper. And very interestingly, lot of students who think that they have not done well in the paper, they end up scoring very good marks in those papers. So don't be too judgmental, don't be too harsh on yourself, don't be too hard on yourself. I'm sure your efforts will not go in vain. Believe in yourself and keep on working. So all the best, take care of yourself and give it your best shot, and take care. Bye-bye.